Yvan.
I'm John.
This is C6 Ceramics. We have this beautiful C8 Corvette in a rather, shall we say, visible color. And we're gonna make it just a little more visible with C6 Hydro. But first, we need to do the app. What's the app, John?
The app is the Adhesion Promoter Polish. What you're going to use this for is, before you put the coating on itself, this will swell the paint and allow the coating to stick to the paint a little better. One of the benefits of the app itself is it has a little ceramic in it also, so you can use it as paint enhancement before you put the coating on itself.
Right, and the app is necessary to the bonding of the coating. We want to make sure that the app is all over the surface, but it is not necessarily for paint correction. Paint enhancement is great, but you're not going to be doing paint correction with this. There's not enough abrasives in it. There's abrasives to clean the paint. There's not abrasives to correct the paint. You want to polish or wipe?
I'll wipe, you polish.
Okay, now on the pad, we're going to make sure we have very, very little of the product. A couple of drops like that, that's all we need on a dry pad. And then from there, we apply. Now with the app, we're very much applying the product. We're not working it in. You don't want a long cycle. We're just spreading it out, and you want to keep it as thin as possible. The less you put on the surface, the better it is. And yes, we're using a dual action sander. Now, the professional detailers out there that are watching this, you've invested hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in expensive machines, and we're doing this with a relatively economical dual action sander. The reason we're doing this is we actually get a better result with this. If you overwork the app, because of the ceramics that are in the app, it bonds to the paint and bonds to itself and becomes a little ornery to remove. The other reason we're using this machine is the length of the stroke. We don't want a 15 or 21 millimeter or 25 millimeter stroke. Between 3 and 8 millimeters is the ideal stroke. And as I go along, I'm looking to make sure I'm actually applying to the surface, and as long as I'm applying the app to the surface, I don't need to add more to my pad. And from there, John can start wiping. It's a very easy wipe off. And I'm at the point now where I need to add a drop or two to my pad. Once again, not much. Very, very small amount.
While wiping off the app, you can notice that it's extremely smooth and brings out a lot of the gloss of the paint itself. Like Ivan was saying, when you're removing it, if you're having trouble getting it all off the paint, you've used way too much product. You can see I'm following behind Ivan to remove the app. You can leave it on while you do the entire car, or you can do it as you go. Either way works for us.
If there are areas you can't get in with the machine, just do them by hand on a microfiber towel. And what John is doing by wiping it off soon like this, if there are any missed areas, he's actually applying it to that area as we go along. Think of it like leveling a ceramic coating. That's basically what he's doing at this moment. Now, the app is not a standalone coating, and it's not there to provide any protection that way. What it is doing is swelling the paint, as John mentioned, and at the same time locking it in that swollen state. That's what we're after with the app, making it very receptive to the coating. Now, there are days when we apply the app, we go for lunch, we go for supper, we might even go home for the night, come back the next day and wipe it off. It is not a time-sensitive product in any way. Now, if you apply too much app, it might be a little more time-sensitive. But the less you use, the better it is. We just want to make sure that everything is covered. We can see it on this carbon flash as I go over it, that the product is there. And I haven't put on any of it in quite some time. To my pad, and we just keep moving along. If you've never applied the app before, do a small section and wipe it off just to make sure that you've got the whole process down. Also, the pad is very important. We're using the DIY red waffle pad. It is the ultimate pad for doing this. It's very flexible, it gets in everywhere, and at the same time, it doesn't create heat, something we don't want with the app. That is way too much. So this drop is just fine. This one's a little too much. So I'm going to actually deposit it somewhere else on the vehicle and pick it up later. Now this machine we got off Amazon. We're testing different machines for our installers to find out which one works best. This is one of the top picks so far. So John, C8 or the Lingfelter C5 we did the other day?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, this is the Ferrari killer, so maybe this one for the streets, but I like the older body style a little more.
Yeah. My favorite Corvette body style is actually the C3, but in terms of ride, handling, and all that, not the greatest car.
Yeah.
But they look good.
Price point for performance, I'd say it's a pretty cool sports car.
Yeah.
The front of this actually has PPF applied up to the doors. We're still going to use the app to prep the PPF before putting the coating on, just to increase the gloss of the PPF itself, but it'll also help the coating stick to the PPF.
Yeah, better bonding, and at the same time, like you mentioned, a little more gloss.
Let Ivan get a little ahead of me. I'm gonna put tire shine on so we don't have to look at these dried out tires.
John, the fun part, applying the hydro. I'm gonna be starting with multiple drops, 10 or 12 on my applicator. And with that, I'm starting in the center and working my way out. Now the orange is not necessarily the best color to see on, but we can see a little bit, so. On the carbon flash though, it's really easy to see. Making sure I've got all the edges overlapping onto the fender and the bumper. Now, on the front end of this vehicle is all paint protection film, but like your clear coat, paint protection film is a plastic. The reason I like starting on the hood is it's easy to see, and if I did have too much on my applicator, I can spread it out to either a fender or somewhere else. How's the leveling, John?
Excellent.
Nice and easy, the way it should be.
Nice and easy.
Going forward, I just applied 2 drops. Doing the top of the fender, and we'll do the sides later. Making sure, once again, overlapping onto the bumper and the hood. If the engine's not under there, is it really a hood? The trunk cover?
Frunk.
Frunk, that's it, yes. The frunk cover. Not only electric cars have frunks. I had a Skoda Rapide that was a rear engine car. It had a very large frunk, but the Skoda Rapide had a very different way of opening. It opened to the side instead of opening to the back like many of them. Now coatings, you don't want to be sniffing them. They're not a bad smell, but they're definitely not something you want to be sticking your nose into. So John, the windshield header, A-pillar, and the whole roof. I've added 2 drops on my applicator pad. And I'm just gonna do the flying buttress here.
So slick, so glossy.
Now today we're thankful the humidity level in the shop is a little lower than it has been the last couple days. And with that, it makes the application of the coating a little less stressful. Because the higher the humidity is, the faster the coating will cross-link to the substrate. And when it's cross-linked to the substrate, if you don't get it off soon enough, you end up with issues.
And the higher the humidity, the sweatier I am.
Yeah, exactly. So John's not dripping, the car's not dripping.
Everyone's happy.
The coating is curing. We're excellent.
Except for Ivan. He likes to be hot.
That's why I'm wearing more layers than you are. So the front fender and then mirror, then the door. If you're working as a team, it's always great to announce where you've been when you're applying. That way the person following you knows exactly, because they're not always watching what you're doing because they're paying attention to what they're doing, which is the way it should be. And I overlapped onto the headlight and the bumper and the hood. So. What do you think of the carbon flash versus carbon metallic look?
This is pretty nice, but I like carbon fiber a little more than this.
A traditionalist, I see. Now, those of you that are keen observers, you'll notice I missed a spot. That little lip at the bottom, because the customer is actually putting a carbon fiber or carbon flash lip over that and wants the 3M double-sided tape to be able to adhere. That's why we're not putting coating there. The back bumper of this Corvette is more work than doing the rest of the car.
Very intricate.
Yeah.
Lots of nooks and crannies.
Lots of nooks and crannies, but the result is good. Doing the Corvette is sort of like doing a motorcycle. Motorcycle is small, you think it's gonna be quick and easy, but with all those little nooks and crannies, it takes a lot of time. Corvette, same deal. Not that big of a car, but there's a lot of movement on the body panels, a lot of different shapes and angles that require a bit of time to get into. But patience is a virtue, and the results are worth the effort. If you like this type of content, remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you have any questions about C6, like where to find it, how to become an installer, you can go to c6ceramics.com or leave it in the comments below. We'll be happy to help you. Now, most vehicles, I'll leave the front bumper till last, because if there is an area where there could be just a little remaining water drip that was hiding, this is it. Even though we've blown it out, we've done all we can, there's always that possibility. And if you get moisture on your applicator pad, you end up with coating that cures very quickly, causing instantaneous high spots. Not something you want to be dealing with. John is going to finish up the front bumper here, and I'm going to do the windows using the applicator, not adding any more C6 to the applicator. We don't need a lot on the glass. Again, if you have questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, leave them below. And if you'd like to see more videos on C6 ceramics, you might want to check out this video right here.